If you're a restaurant owner who's looking to double the amount of conversions coming through their website every day, this is the video for you. My name's Jesse, I'm the owner of Edge Media, and today I'm going to show you how you can optimize your restaurant's website for conversions so you can double the amount of reservations, calls, and bookings you have coming through your website. Let's get into it. Before we dive in straight to the web design, there's a couple basic principles you need to understand first, and that is the basics of a marketing funnel. And reason being is because we actually need to understand what our user's journey is, and the only way to do that is to know how they follow a marketing funnel to begin with. So typically with a marketing funnel, we have 3 stages to it, okay? This will be pretty basic, guys, so bear with me here. We have our top of funnel, we have our middle of funnel, and we have our bottom of funnel, right? And typically our traffic sources, they're gonna be like Facebook, they come from Instagram, Twitter, Google, and Maps, right? So we're gonna have all these people searching for, let's say, a pizza business. They're gonna find you on any one of these sources, and now they're in the top of funnel, okay? They are aware that we exist. Let's say specifically someone is on Google Maps and they type in pizza, and then I'm going to show you exactly what they're going to do. If I was a consumer and I was looking for a pizza place, I've gone to my maps on my phone, okay? Open up maps, and then I'm going to scroll around and be like, man, this place looks dope. Let's check it out. I'm going to check the reviews, I'm going to check the stars, and then I'll probably check the website. So now I'm entering the middle of funnel, and the reason being is that I'm narrowing my attention. I went from being distracted and seeing all these other pizza places to now narrowing down just on this specific website. And now you only have one chance to turn that visitor into a customer, and you have about 5 seconds to do it, and that's exactly when the website opens up. Okay, so I was a consumer. I just went on Apple Maps. I'm now into the middle of funnel. I'm on the website, and this is where we're going to be focusing on optimizing our conversions. Because if this part is not optimized, then you can sure as hell bet they're not going to get to this bottom of funnel, and that's where you guys make money, right? This is where you have your orders, sales, your calls, where you have people booking reservations, right? This is where you're going to have all your bookings. This is where you're actually going to be making money, right? But you can only make money if they get through this middle of funnel, which guess what, is your website. So it's really important you invest into your website and you build a good experience, and specifically an experience that is meant to convert them into customers. Great. So now that we understand what our customer's journey is, now we can actually dive into the specifics of the website and optimizing it for one of these conversions. So we're going to dive into a really basic website design, and we're going to start off with the user experience only. I'm not going to touch any UI. And if you want to know the difference between user experience and UI, user experience is when you're actually just mapping out how the user is going to interact with the website. And then UI, or user interface, is when you actually start adding in like the photos, the color, and the copy, and all that stuff. So for sake of argument, this is going to look really basic. But if you start with the end in mind, you start with designing for conversions first, you're going to have a lot more success with your website builds. So without further ado, we need to think about the psychology of how people look at websites to begin with. And usually people scan naturally. Again, if you think about you reading a book from left to right, you start at the top left, go to right, and then you go to the next line. Websites, it's very, very similar. You're going to start at the top right here. Your eyes are going to scan all the way across to here. And then typically what's going to happen is that either one or two things can happen. Your eyes are either going to go down to the next line, or down and left, or it's just going to go straight down and then back left up here. Typically, people who are on websites or mobile phones, that's what they're going to do first, okay? They're going to go from left to right to down and then back up, which means their eyesight is getting dragged all the way across the screen, okay? So we have to keep that in mind. And typically, when people first land on a website, they're not going to scroll down what's called below the fold. They're only going to stay above the fold. And that's the part that you see. Like when you first open up a website, this is what's considered above the fold. So you can see they designed with above the fold in mind, where it literally cuts off right at the bottom of my screen here. So let's dive right into it. So knowing that they're going to scan from left to right, typically what people are going to want to do is, they'll put their logo in the top right here. And then what I like to do typically with my links is I'll put them either right beside it or in their own navigation bar. For sake of argument, let's say we're going to have text link 1, text link number 2, and text link number 3. Again, we don't want to confuse our users too much, so try and keep your text links to a minimum if you can. Knowing that people are probably going to want to check the menu, that should be the first thing that's up here. So when they're scanning from left to right, that's what they're going to see. Okay, I'm going to draw this over top here, just so we have some visual reference. Cool. So we have our first menu link. Our second one, we could probably do an about us. And the third one can be contact us. And now we have to think about our call to action. So again, this is where they're probably going to be spending the most time, and it's also the most visible. And the reason it's the most visible is because we designed it that way. This feels a little bit crowded, so naturally our eyes are going to want to move away from it. And if we put a button here that sticks out a lot, well, guess what? Now they're going to be attracted to this button. And this is going to be our main call to action. You always want your main call to action buttons to be the same color as well, and then all your secondary call to action buttons to be another color. And your secondary call to actions can have multiple functions, but your primary call to action button should have one function only. And that button is to, if we're going to optimize for orders, it's going to be to order. So we're going to want them to order now. And then typically what I like to do is I'll have a phone button, except it'll be circular typically. I'll have a circular phone button with a phone icon sitting at the bottom right corner of the screen, and that'll stick to the screen. So as I'm like scrolling down the website, it's always there. Same thing with this order now button. As I scroll down, it's always going to be stuck to the website. Now our eyes are going to go back across. So this is when we can actually start designing what's called our hero. And we'll go with, the stereotypical hero where you have just the big image in the background. And we will color this image gray. So this will be a background image. And then over top of that, we'll have our text. So this will be our main value proposition, typically. So if I was a pizza parlor, I could say like Calgary's number one rated authentic Italian pizza parlor. So I would probably design it something like that. There's our kind of like the hook to our website. So this way it gives people something to be interested in, shows how we're unique from the rest of the market. And then you'll want to have your subheading underneath of that. And this will generally be like slogan, or generally like a supportive paragraph or supportive text. So if I'm an Italian restaurant, I could say like, obviously it's going to probably be a little bit more clickbait than that and a bit more well copywritten. But this is just the structure that you guys should be following. Super basic. You can see anyone can literally do this. And the goal is just not to like overcomplicate your design, right? That's all it is at the end of the day. You just don't want to overcomplicate anything. So we have our main value proposition. We have the supportive statement. Now we're going to want to add in our call to actions again. So again, if our main call to action is going to be that order now button, or to order now, we want it to be the first thing that they're going to see. They're going to read from left to right, down, left to right, down, order now. And then you'll probably want to have your secondary call to action button right beside it. So with COVID, what I would recommend doing if you're still doing dine-in is just make this the see menu, right? Especially if your customers have to come into your restaurant and they want to see the menu on their phone. If you guys aren't providing them in person, this is that perfect option to do. And typically, even like if you think about as a user, if I'm going onto a website from Google Maps here and I'm going here, I'm going to want to either order now or see the menu because I don't know what's on it, right? So it's always a safe bet to just have your secondary call to action be the see menu. And then something else that you guys can do is if you have any awards or accolades, add them along the bottom here, right? If you have any awards, like best in show or, number one rated on like TripAdvisor, like this is your opportunity to add them in. And this is going to be your social proof, right? You can even add like your Google rankings here if you wanted to. I'll get the little star emoji. Okay, and then you can put your Google reviews right here. And then literally above the fold, you have everything you would ever need for your customers to trust you, know what you do, know like your unique value proposition, having your supporter statement, and then you're providing them with the direction. Okay, this is for your above the fold. Now, on mobile, it's going to look a little bit different. Things are going to be a little bit more squished together, but the principle remains pretty much the exact same, where you're going to want to have your order now button in the top right, preferably sticking to your phone. That phone icon or a way to contact you, nice and easy to access. And then you're going to want to have that order now and that see menu button above the fold on your mobile device. All right, so we have our above the fold design. Next thing we're going to want to do is design the other elements of our website. I'm not going to dive into these too much. I'm just going to kind of provide you guys with the order of information that I think converts the best. And then I will leave the rest of the styling up to you guys. And again, like it's all about just adding those call to actions into your website as much as possible. If you think about like a traditional sales process, you typically have to get the customer to say no at least 3 to 4 times, even 3 to 8 times before they're going to say yes. And we want to take that same principle onto our website, where the call to action, every time we see it, that's us asking for the sale. So we need to be asking for the sale at least 4 to 5 times per page. So typically what I like to do with my websites is, so keep in mind, this button is going to be following us all the way down. This section will be for reviews. And the reason I like to do that is because that's, again, it's just like more social proof. So this section, I'll usually keep it around like this slim here. And then it'll just be reviews. So maybe you can have like a photo of someone, typically, or what I like to do sometimes too, is you can link up your Google Business Manager onto your website and you can just have your reviews rotating there. That's even better. So this way, you can have like your star rating here. And then you can have your person's name. And then a really great review written by them. You can keep it really basic like that, and then social proof, and just have it like rotate through. Have it rotate through. And then what you can even do right underneath of it, if you want it to be a little bit sneaky, is put another call to action here, right? So keeping in mind that like this is a darker color, this button, we can make this, we can make this white if we're sticking with like a lighter theme. Put another call to action right here or here. I typically like to put it on this side and then just have call to action headline here Okay, if we want to get clever. For the views, right, we could do like, don't just take our word for it. And then right, we can do something cheesy like this. Get it? Anyways, so cool. Look at that. We have another call to action. So 1, 2, review, call to action. And now, typically with this other section, what we can do is start diving into a little bit about the business. So this is where you guys can start talking about yourselves. You know, for sake of argument, let's take a screenshot of this. And let's put it in here. So boom. We're going to pretend this is actually talking about the business and the website. And typically what you'd like to do too is instead of having a picture of a pizza there, you'd actually have pictures of like a person or like your team members all happy together. Right? So, you know, maybe there'll be a bunch of you. Yay, all happy. And then you have a little bit of short story about your business, okay? And the reason we want to do this is we're just validating our customers' beliefs. So first, we're giving, again, going over this, repetition is key, giving them the value proposition, the unique value proposition, supporting statement, call to actions. Social proof 1 is the awards, and that's just further validation. Validation number 2 is reviews, if you can get them on there. Then we're doing another call to action because we always want to be top of mind asking for that sale. Then we're doing a short story about the business, something compelling. And again, you're just trying to like build that story and further validate why your place is the right place for them to order from. And you can see they even have like the order online button right there. So again, add that order online, or if you want to add another button here for like learn more, or going further into like about us, you can do that as well. But if you want to keep it really strict, try and leave that button out of there, right? If our goal is for them to order, let's leave it at that. And then typically what you're going to want to do after that is have actual pictures of your food and your menu here. So again, sake of argument, we're going to go here. We're just going to take a screenshot of these guys. And look, like your menu doesn't have to be anything complicated. The design for it doesn't have to be anything complicated. It's literally as easy as having some buns where it says house specials, right? Just so they can flip through the menu quickly. They could see everything. And look, they've never like left the main screen. So think about like the user experience for this, okay? I'm going to close this out. And let's like really think about this, guys, because I want to make sure you guys are building your websites properly. They land here. This is going to be my eyes, okay? We land here. We see the logo. And then one of two things are going to happen. We can either go here, where our eyes are dart across, or they'll go straight down, depending how the color saturation is. We're going to read this. We're going to read all this. We're going to see the order now button, and we're going to see the C menu. Cool. So very clear direction. I only have two options here: order now, see menu, or if I want to like further validate, I'll also see these. And then if I'm a user, this is all I see, right? Again, what I'm going to probably do, and only like 60% of users actually scroll down. So if they do scroll down, we're giving them more validation. We see these awesome reviews. Well, then we see another call to action. Experience Calgary's most authentic pizza from left to right. Boom, order now. If I need further validation, I'm going to learn more about your team. I'm going to read the short story here. And then again, boom, order now. We're always asking for that sale. And then if we go look back at our list, so we have the reviews there. We have our order button. And now we're going to show them our menu. So here it is, our menu. We have nice and easy options here. And you notice how they keep it nice and tight. It's not like scrolling all the way down the page. If you can do that, try and do that. And then this way you can always have this button right here, this call to action. So ideally, that button would be the same color though, because again, we have to keep consistency in colors. So psychologically, our customers always know that colored button means order now. And then here we are asking for the sale once again. So let's count how many times we're asking for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And then keep in mind that this is always going to be at the top of the screen here. So that's all there is to it. You don't need to overcomplicate your designs. If you need a hand building a user experience for your website, or if you want me to do a conversion optimization analysis on your website, let me know. I'd be more than happy to set you up in the right direction. So there you have it, guys. I know it was a little bit of a long video, and I really appreciate you sticking with me to the end, but I guarantee if you follow this design principle for your user experience, you're going to see double the amount of conversions, orders, and calls coming through your website. And that's because your website would have been designed and optimized to convert in the first place. So you follow that basic UX design, and then you add your UI on top of that. You guys are going to have creme de la crop with business pages. All right, thank you guys, and have a good day.